Hi there, my name is Gloria Kati. I'm a broadcaster, a talk show host, a compare, and a voiceover artist. And today, I want you to meet somebody. I've been hearing about this person. Well, I call him the mystery man, one of the persons I call that. You get to know why really soon. I've been hearing a lot about him, and I only got to meet him recently. And I tell you, I was amazed. I'm like, who is this? And I've been wanting to ask him a lot of questions. And today, I have that opportunity. I'm here to have a special interview with somebody. You must have heard of him. And I'm pretty sure you also have these questions running through your mind, And so today, I'm giving you that opportunity to meet this mystery man. What is it that you do? Who are you? Why are you here, and here? Why do you do all these many things? Like, how do you combine the life that you live, everything that you do? It's amazing, right? And just give us some of your time, okay? Because there's a lot that's going to be revealed in this video you do not want to miss, all right? Okay, so I'm here with the renowned Emeka Nobis. I'm sure you've heard of that name. Now you get to meet the person. Who is this person? Hi.
Just listening to all those things you're saying, I'm wondering what that was the one you were talking about.
Yeah, honestly, like the mystery man. Who are you? Who is this person?
My name is Emeka Nobis, as you know.
Yeah.
So primarily I'm a writer, and I have two gifts actually: gift of writing and the gift of speaking. And every day that I wake up, I just use my gifts to be able to be a blessing. So I write and I speak as the occasion demands for it. That's me in a nutshell. Maybe you want to hear other things about me.
Of course, I want to hear other things about you, like how you started, where you started from, how you got to this point. Yeah.
All right. So I was born on the 1st of July 1980. I'm the first of 5 children from Imo State, and my parents are still alive. And did my primary school in Imo State, did secondary school in Imo State too, did university there, and then went over to do my youth service at community secondary school in Omagwa in River State. And then from there I got a job in an oil servicing company, Saipem, which is quite a global company. And then I worked there for 10 years, and then I resigned to fully do what I am doing today. But quite notable, I want to share with you the fact that when it comes to pursuit of academics, I've been quite excellent at it. From secondary school to university. In fact, in university I had 6 scholarships to my name, and I was the best student from first year to my final year before I left university actually. And it was quite a good time. And so when I got the job, I began to utilize my talents, my speaking and my writing. Then after a while, I just realized that I wasn't going to last there for a long time. So I began to plan my exit. So I planned my exit for 10 years before I fully resigned and focusing on what I'm doing today. So, but while I was still working there, I was giving my energy, I was giving my time, focusing on what the company wanted me to do as an engineer, production engineer on site. And it was quite a remarkable time understanding how human beings work. And I can tell you some of the things I learned while working in the company, I use them today in dealing with my employees and dealing with people, marketing, and a whole lot. Relationship with people, which is one of my core strengths. And that's Emeka Nobis in a nutshell. I am a father to 3 kids. I'm married to 1 wife, and that's it. Yes.
Interesting.
Right.
1 wife. Okay, that's good. Okay, so you mentioned how that you got to realize that you were gifted in writing and speaking. At what point did you make this realization?
Okay, this realization had been there over the years actually. It was at the age of 7 or 8, I can't remember, that I knew that I had the gift of writing. So at that time I was writing short. I didn't even know they were plays actually. Even though I didn't grow to hone the skill to write plays, but I was writing short plays, things that it's not today that I've been doing all these things that people see me do today. Like I write things that are unconventional, or I try to stare the what do we call it now, the bee's nest or something like that online. It didn't actually start today. So because I allow my mind to roam a lot. So while I was young, while I was younger at the age of 7, 8, I was just I would just write plays. So I'll just figure out things in my head and I write plays. But although my strength is not writing plays anymore these days, but that was the age actually. So I had some short notebooks, 20 leaves, that I was putting all those things down together, back in the days. And when I was in year 2, I remember I won in the whole Imo State at the time that I participated in that competition. I was number 2, at the time. And one of the higher moments of my life was shaking the hands of the then military administrator of Imo State, Colonel Tanko Zubairu at the time. I don't know if the man is still alive though, but it was a great moment. My father was there, my mom was there, and a whole lot of people from the estate, and got the award. I was second actually. I wanted to be first, but I was second. But so my writing has really been is a gift actually, and I knew that when I was little, but I began to hone it into a skill when I got into university actually. But because I studied mechanical engineering, you know what that entails. We needed time to study a lot in university back in the day. So it lay fallow for a while. And then when I got the job, I began to write. So what was I doing at the time? So I collected the emails of my colleagues at work. So I used to send them mails about how to live, how to work with
At this point, did you know what you were doing?
Well, I wouldn't say I knew clearly what I was doing, but I was just on the path. Clarity dawns when you're on the path, actually. When you keep walking on the path, you keep getting increasing levels of clarity. That's how I see life. But then all I wanted to do was just to help people. I just wanted to help them understand how to work with their bosses, how to maintain what they call work-life balance, And then I was heading a workshop. So in that workshop, I went to get what I call the motivation board. So I went to the woodwork department, and I got a board called the motivation board. So I write in A3 boldly, and so when workers come to work in the morning every Monday, they read what I have written for the week. So I could write on things, how to improve their health, even though I know I'm not a health expert, but just small tips here and there, how to keep sane at work, how to control their emotions, how to deal with other workers on site, and a whole lot of things. So even down to finances. So that motivation board was a rallying point. It was beautiful. Me just staying in one corner in the morning and seeing workers and colleagues coming into the workshop and stopping at the board to read what I had written there for the week, and they will always thank me when they notice that the place is empty. Back then. They were like, Emeka, what's going on? What's going on? Put something for us to read. And then I'll still go back and write something quickly and, go to print on the board. So it was remarkable.
Interesting. Yeah. So at this point, what was your motivation?
Just to help people. I just wanted to see people better. And that's still the thing that is driving me today. When I write the things I write, people think it's for clout, as they will say, because that's, for me, I think that's the thinking of simpletons. The thing is for clout, but I want people to think. I want people to think for themselves. I want them to have progressive mindsets. I want them to have, to think progressively about their lives. To constantly evaluate the things that they are holding so preciously as ideologies, and carving for themselves new ideologies can get them better in the future. So that has been my motivation, even beyond the money. If it was about the money, I was getting paid well in the company where I was working. So why would I resign? But even though I think I'm better now, but that has always been my motivation all the while.
Speaking of resigning, you worked for 10 years, and this was engineering.
Yes.
And then you had the gift of writing and speaking. Were you speaking at the time?
Yes, I was. So on Saturdays, so that's one of the topics of my books actually, called Got a Tough Boss, Give Me a Banana. So back then, I had this knack for every boss that was placed over me at the time. I had a way of building a relationship with the boss. Because we work on Saturdays. In that company, we used to work on Saturdays. I think it's still the same thing now. We work on Saturdays, Sundays sometimes inclusive. So I needed to also speak on Saturdays and sometimes on Sundays for people to see me, right? Because visibility is key. And so what I would do, I would do my job so well that I would get to the office of the boss and say, boss, because Italians say, boss, tomorrow me no possible come in the work, me need and the boss will say, Emeka Nobis, you correct guy, you go, and then on Saturday I will go to speak at an event, at one seminar. Sometimes I also, or most of the times, I even held my own seminars by myself. And so because we get paid every last Friday of the month,
Okay.
And so when we get paid, we don't go to work on that Friday. So I would travel on that Friday to as far as Abuja by road, do my things on Saturday, and by Sunday I'm back on the road again to resume work on Monday. So there was a year, I can't remember whether 2013 or 12, I was in 6 different cities with my salary, right? So they'll pay me salary, I'll take out a chunk of the salary, I'll travel to a city, organize an event just to make people know that Emeka Nobis was existing at the time, and so that was how my name kept on spreading, just like that.
Was it because you weren't satisfied with your job at the time?
No, it wasn't because I wasn't satisfied. I was satisfied with the job at the time, but I needed to be more in the world. I think that was why I resigned because, okay, let me give you a little bit of background. And so back then, for you to get out of the job, you needed to, apply for leave to get out. And the company, I think around 2014, 15, during some crisis in the world at the time, the company fell into hard times. Of course, it was global, and so they had to stop us from taking one day away from work to go and to go and flex.
Okay.
And so they said if you needed to leave your job to go somewhere, you needed to take excuse. You needed to fill the form. And so people would normally, everybody's staff would be scared because nobody wanted to lose his job. So it turned out that every month it was always Emeka Nobis going to ask for excuse to go do something every Friday. And of course, you know what that means. Why is it that every time it's always Emeka Nobis? Every month to month, Emeka Nobis is always taking excuse to go. So I didn't just like the feeling. So I knew I was becoming caged more and more and more. And then I was pulled away from site into the office. So back then on site, I had a lot of time. What I mean by that was that I had a good managerial skill. So I had a way of connecting to my subordinates, getting them to work, and I didn't need to be standing around on site all the time. I didn't need to do that. So when the work was going on, I could go into my cubicle and I could just write some pieces, maybe prepare notes or things like that. And so that gave me ample time to also do a lot of things online. But by the time I was pulled away from site and put into the office, there wasn't any leverage anymore. So I felt like the news was just tightening more and more and more. So even the day I resigned, I didn't know I was going to go away that day. My boss gave me a job, and I looked at the job, and I knew that for me to raise my head from that job would take me like 2 weeks. And then I had started having clients who were also calling on the phone and all that stuff.
Okay.
And so I just told my colleagues, guys, today is the day I'm resigning. And they were like, wow, Emeka, why? I said, no, I'm just going. Some of them called me my son, Nobis, what's going on? I said, yeah, I'm done. And so I put in my resignation, and then that was it. It happened on February 18th, 2016. And then by March, because you usually give 1 month, and then by March 18th, I was let off. And so it wasn't because of absence of fulfillment. It was the fact that I needed to be more out of the world. I needed to travel. I didn't need anybody. I didn't need to always take excuse to just travel to go and be a blessing to speak. No. So it wasn't a cage, so to say. It was just that I couldn't do a lot more. I remember even one of my friends masterminding an opportunity for me to go and teach training in the bank, but it didn't work because it was on a work day. They put the training on a Wednesday, and I couldn't ask for leave, so that one just went by like that, and I didn't get that opportunity anymore.
So you found purpose in this?
Well, I tell people that purpose for me is progressive. People think that purpose is just that one thing that you do, and I tell people like I evolve. I mean, today I'm doing different businesses. Before it was just writing, speaking, but now I'm doing different businesses. Will somebody say that I've lost my purpose? No. Have I found a new one or whatever? No. For me, I feel it's in the doing, something that is very fulfilling, something that is also a blessing. That's my purpose. Somebody can, some of my friends who were in the seminary, isn't it? They wanted to become Reverend Fathers. And some of them that even became Reverend Fathers at the end of the day, and then they disrobe themselves. And today now they are doing missionary work. Some of them are doing other things. Will you say they lack purpose or they don't have purpose for their lives? No. As long as I feel like you are having fulfillment and you're evolving over time. Me, I will still evolve. I know that I'm 43 now, but I feel like maybe, who knows, by the time I'm 44, 45, there may be something beckoning that I will still evolve into. So,
But do you really think having different businesses or venturing into different things changes your purpose?
No, it doesn't. I don't think it changes anything.
Because you said purpose is progressive.
Yeah, what I mean is in terms of progressive, in terms of the fact that I could be doing a set of different activities,
Okay.
not the one I was doing before. All right, I give you a particular example. I used to have a Facebook group of writers that grew to about 20,000 or 15,000, can't remember. But one day I woke up and I knew that I was struggling. I was struggling to create content. I was struggling to show up. I knew it was time for me to just let go, and I had to shut the group down. Despite all the cries from the members of the group, I shut it down and then moved on. And will you say I don't write? I still write today, but I'm no longer leading a group. My purpose is still being a blessing. So for me, I think the purpose is about being impactful, being a blessing, irrespective of what it is that I'm doing.
That's your purpose.
For me, that's what I think. That's what I look at it like. So even if I have a consulting company, I'm doing real estate, I am setting up another platform. Basically, at the bottom of it, at the base of it, is the fact that those activities I'm doing have a way of being a blessing to people's lives. And that's how I look at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you describe yourself as a business mogul or an entrepreneur?
Mogul is too big. I don't know what I said.
Would you say mogul or an entrepreneur?
Well, let's go with the word entrepreneur, because what they basically do is an entrepreneur is the one that finds problems and creates a system around it, that can help to solve that particular problem. So the systems are working and solving the problem. For example, my real estate company is Nowhere, also here in Port Harcourt. I'm here. Am I there every time to look at everybody? Visitations to site that's happening. I'm not there. So the system has already been created, isn't it?
Yeah,
so that's
truly.
What it is. So find the problem, create a system around it. That's what entrepreneurship is all about. And then that system solves the problem and delivers a solution.
So how many businesses do you have?
Oh, well, I can say for me right now, I have one that is fully mine, which is Switchpath Consulting. It's a consulting firm, but I am the director. I'm a co-owner in Emeka Nobis, which is my real estate company. And then I'm a co-owner also in Akara Boy, which is is a company that they fry akara actually. Okay. And then they put chicken inside akara.
Oh God.
Right. So I'm a co-owner in that. And what I'm wearing is also my company. This is called After 30 Classics. So it's a fashion. I don't know how to sew. Remember I told you it's about system. So we have a system in place. We have the person who sews, we have the person who does the marketing, we have the person who does the delivery, right? So I don't know how to put needle inside the machine to start to sew. So, but this is my company. So I own 50% of it with my friend Nambibe.
Okay.
Right. And then I'm also an owner of a company. It's into virtual recharge cards, data. It's called Quick. Although it's morphing into a new platform that I'm working now with my tech partners. So I'm going to be the CEO of the company when eventually the company, comes alive. Right now we are not talking about the name. We're just releasing the thing.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
And it's something that's going to be a great blessing to a lot of people beyond Nigerians. So those are the companies that I am part of.
Okay.
So a lot of individuals feel like you have to own all the companies. No, but having a chunk or a partnership or just a bit of the company, maybe it could be 10%, it could be 20%, it could be 30%, right? Can help you. Like I don't fry akara, I don't know how to fry. Operations are going on every day. People are buying akara every day. Deliveries are ongoing, isn't it? But I own 20% of the company, isn't it? So I get my own profits too as the company keeps growing. So you don't need to own all. It can be just have a tiny chunk. The real estate company, what do? I'm using what God blessed me with. That's the thing I'm doing in the real estate company. My brother, who is in charge of operations, checking out the lands. I've never visited any land before, but we have 3 estates. So that's to tell you.
Interesting.
Right? So I take a part of the business and I do what I do in part of the business. So that's it, and I get paid.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I think I got something from there, which I'm going to run with. Okay, I'm going to come back to this.
Okay.
But let me go back a little. Let's rewind, all right, to you resigning from your office and then you being a writer and a speaker. Now, you have the talent to talk and to write.
Yeah.
But you got into school and you studied engineering.
Yes.
Now, this is a common phenomenon amongst Nigerians. You know, we pant for one thing, but then we get into school and we study another thing, either owing to parental influence or like what we say, what they give us in school, you know. And so we study, we spend 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, as the case may be. And then when we are out, we don't even know what to do with what we actually studied, or we have to now start from scratch to either pursuing what we really desire, you know, or we are just there doing nothing, you know. So first off, I really want you to tell us there. I'm going to ask you two questions here. First off, how did you, you know, handle studying engineering and then, you know, being gifted in writing and speaking, and at the point where you finished, where you graduated from the university, how was that period for you? Did you get into, you know, did you get a job immediately, or were you actually doing some writing and talking gigs and stuff?
Right. So the thing is that for that kind of thing that happens to us, while attributable to quite a few factors, you know. One could be absence of a, would I say, structure that helps people to define themselves or define themselves, right? And so it could also be from parenting. So as a parent, you're not even observing your kids to find out what they are doing. Like for my 3 kids now, I'm watching them. It's only my son that I've not really found out what is really inclined into. But I've seen my first daughter. That one loves writing. So. Like, how do I know? When I travel and I'm coming back, she's not asking for a baby or a doll or whatever. She's asking for book and pen. So that gives me an idea that this is where this girl is going to be. Am I going to say, let me mold her to become a writer? No, I won't do that. I'm only guiding her. If today she comes up and says, yeah, just keep guiding and keep watching. So that could be the foundation. Because maybe our parents back in the days didn't really observe us and to know our strengths, and so they couldn't even talk to us. The second one could be schools need to have what they call it, guidance and counseling or something, but they're quite non-existent. And sometimes when you even go to meet some of these individuals, they're not even properly equipped to even deal with people who are coming to them to ask them certain questions.
Truly.
And that paucity of excellence or expertise could still boil down to the person saying, okay, let me just do whatever comes my way.
Truly.
The third one could be the systems we found ourselves. So you see somebody that's taking JAMB today, right? And he fails JAMB, he has to wait again the next year. Why should that be? For me, I think it's a waste of time. When I was in Ghana, I mean, I saw that there are different universities in Ghana. You choose the one you want to go. So if you want to do accounting, there's a school, university for accounting. You go straight and go and do your accounting, all right? Even if you pass, there's a receipt. You receipt again within maybe a few weeks or a few months, you get back. So why would you have to wait for 1 year, wasting your time for another JAMB to come back? Don't you see the system is whack? For me, I feel it's nonsensical, actually. And so when someone is now not able to hook up on that, will now accept whatever comes our way, right? But the thing is this, all hope is not lost. So by the time you get into the university and you find out that you have been on this path, some individuals have come to me and I tell them, you can change. So it doesn't mean you've gone, like there was a guy in River University, he came to me, had filled so many courses and he was like, I'm frustrated, I don't know what next to do, but this is where I think I have my joy. I told him, one of the problems he was having was what his friends will talk when he decides to backpedal. I told him, your friends are not your life. Backpedal. If you feel that this is the way to go, go. And the guy took my hand. Today he's better off. He's happy, even though his mates have graduated, but he's happy. But then when you've gone through that system, in fact, like some guys come to me today and they tell me, oh, I'm in 4th year, oh, I'm in final year, but this is where my joy lies. And I tell them, you've already you're reaching towards the finishing point.
Okay.
Finish it, get a degree, and then you can decide to jump out into the world and go and do what you desire, what your love is.
Was that what you did?
That's, for me, I wanted to study engineering. It wasn't about what I wanted to do. I wanted to study engineering because I was very curious when I was young. So one day I saw a plane flying, and I just stood there as a young man. I was just very young. I think I was 12 or 11, I can't remember. So I was just there. The planes have been passing though, but that very day, that plane, I think, was too low that I could see the belly. And so I was like, man, this kind of big thing, like, is so big. How does this thing get into the sky? How come somebody put this big thing? We're looking at, we used to fly kites back in the day.
Yeah.
But kites are they're not weighty, right? But then seeing that big thing in the sky, you're like, how did this big thing get into the sky like that? So I began to ask questions, and I said to myself, I would like to be the kind of people who build this kind of big stuff that fly in the sky. So I asked questions. I think by the time I was in JS3, I knew that they were called aeronautical engineers. And so I began to ask, where I could go to learn. But then I think there was no university in Nigeria at the time. I don't think there is any now still. And so what was my next option, right? So I began to ask questions. So I had options: mechanical engineering, chemical engineering. I didn't really like electrical engineering, I think because of electric shock, basically. Because I had a lot of poking to do when I was young. I was receiving a lot of shocks, So I didn't just like electricity. So so I had two options, So I said to myself, if chemical doesn't come, mechanical. And so mechanical eventually, because I had 237 in JAMB, and chemical engineering was 263.
Okay.
And I think mechanical was 240 at the time, so it was closer. So that was how I got into mechanical engineering. But then, it doesn't stop you from still exhibiting what you're being gifted as a gift. No, It doesn't stop you. I have a lot of medical doctors today, they write so well. I have a lot of medical doctors today, they sing, they're poets, right? It doesn't stop them from going to the theater to conduct surgeries. They still do their surgeries, they come out, they write, they come out, they sing, they come out, they preach. It doesn't stop you whatsoever, So, would I call it the complexity of life? I don't know. Would I call it one of those things that we just don't know how it happens? I don't know, but that's just what it is. So, for me, I studied mechanical engineering. Today, I'm not really a professional in it, but I still utilize some of the things I did while I was working to also solve problems. For example, one of the things that engineering did for me was the ability to think in dimensions. So on site, you see something that is on 2 dimensions on paper, right? And you're seeing that thing on paper. That thing has to become to become a structure. How does that thing become a structure? So you see, your mind is going away from that 2D, and you are imagining. You throw yourself into that imaginative space, and you're thinking, okay, how can this become? And you're thinking, how does this go here? How does this go here? How does it go here? Can you see what it's doing to your mind? Your mind is open to think.
Okay.
That's why when I see some individuals write certain comments on my timeline, it's worrisome because many people don't think. They are just fixated in a box. The ability to think in so many dimensions will make you a better human being. That's one of the things that engineering did for me. So I can't say engineering is totally off my life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So sometimes people come to me, and as they are talking, I'm looking at them. I know they are lying because my mind has thrown it up in many ways, and I know that this person is just.
How do you know that?
Form, of course, it's the thinking thing and the perception I'm getting. I'm looking at the person moving the words.
Okay.
I know that individuals, maybe they are trying to whine me or make me feel good, but I know that. And after a while, the person will come up with the truth.
Okay.
That's what it is. So engineering has helped me, to deal, my mind, how I think. Okay. So it's not a loss to me actually. So you find out that sometimes even what you've gone through, right? Maybe you've gone through that course that wasn't actually for you, or you felt that wasn't for you. There are certain experiences you may have gotten, while moving that path that you may still use later in life. So I don't think it's absolutely non-useful, so to say, or useless. If you look at it, if you really, dissect it and go grainy, find out that some of those experiences can help you also.
So how would you advise someone who is either going or has gone through, school, studying what they really don't want to?
At that point, understand that you still have a road before you that is large enough for you to explore. So just quit being blaming the past that has gone or blaming what is at the present. Just know that the road is still large for you to explore. All right, and take it up from there. Okay. And trust me, as you start doing that, you start finding joy, fulfillment, and people will start hailing you.
I know, right? Just as they did with you. Okay, so let's come forward now to Emeka Nobis now. Okay. Your businesses. Yeah. I'd like you to tell us how you were able to grow this brand in Emeka Nobis and venture into these different businesses
Yeah, it comes with intentionality. You have to decide specifically that this is what you commit your energy and your life and your everything to, right? It comes with a lot of intention. So, as I told you, clarity was coming forth at every step. So when I started out initially, I was what you call aspire to perspire, waking up in the morning and telling people, oh, live your life like this, oh, aspire to be this.
So you started out as what?
Then,
as a writer. Speaker. Okay,
as a writer on Facebook, all right?
Okay.
Yeah, so I just wanted to be more out there.
And by that time, you were still working?
Yes, I was still working.
Okay.
I was still working. I was using social media, Facebook, basically.
Okay.
I'm still on Facebook today. It's one of my good platforms. And so, I was just waking up. I didn't really know specifically what to do, but I just wanted to be a blessing.
Okay.
So I would just wake up, what people used to call aspire to perspire.
Okay.
Just inspiring people,
yeah.
And all that, So as I kept on doing it, gradually, by training, by being under coaches, by reading books, I began to see where my strengths were, right? So I gradually found out that it's not just for me to write. It's about how do I get what I've written into faces of people? How do I get people to buy into the ideologies? That's where marketing came in. So that's what marketing is all about. So that's why, and then I found out that it wasn't just about writing. A lot of Nigerians write, but they don't know how to sell what they have written. And so they write 1 book, 2 books, 3 books, and they still stay broke because they think that it's by writing 10 books that the money will come. No. Because even the one you've written before, you've not even sold it. You don't understand the marketing. And so that was the problem I found out, and that's why I started building myself, learning what marketing was.
Okay.
My first book was a big flop. I sold only 200 copies, and I gave away about 800 copies because I didn't know what marketing was. And so I had to spend 6 years to understand what marketing was without writing a single book. So after the 6 years, I now came up with another book, and that book was just an ebook, and it did 3 million in 60 days, which was very remarkable for an ebook. Not even a printed book. You get. And so over the years, I've been bettering my marketing, understanding marketing, and all that. So it comes with intentionality. You have to be very intentional with the way you do your things. So every day that I wake up, some people may see my life as boring. Actually, I feel like it's boring sometimes because it's from my house to the office, from the office maybe occasionally to church, from church to other things, and then I go back home. That's how my life is. Sometimes, many Saturdays, I don't even wedding. I can't remember the last time I went to a wedding. I've not been up to 5 burials in my life. That's the truth. So because I'm always working on one thing or the other to be, doesn't mean Emeka does not relate. No, I do relate. I do relate a whole lot.
Of course you do.
Of course, I go to events, I gist, I talk with individuals, I relate.
You're very open.
People come to my office, we gist, we talk. I'm very open with that. So, but, the intentional part is committing my energies to the things that will get me going ahead.
Okay.
You get what I mean? So it's with devotion, it's with time consuming actually. So you have to keep on reading, connecting, getting better. That's how we keep building.
Okay.
Basically for me, right?
There's really a lot to suck out from you. But, I'd like to also know, what would you say is your most significant wins, or are your most significant wins?
And when people ask me that question, I think I see success as a means, or I see success that I'm getting results. Let me give you a particular example. So last year, somebody will say, last year I started our conversations with the dawn at the age of 39. Last year we had the hall filled to the brim. Somebody will say that was very significant because people came to that event, even though it was free, but an event that was just for the intellectual rigors.
Okay.
Nothing like dancing, nothing like joking, nothing. Oh yeah, there were jokes actually. Nothing like, but an event from the beginning to the end. We are talking book, we are talking knowledge. It's unusual in these parts where we live to have such events where people except it's in church.
Yeah.
But this is completely intellectual event, and people are sitting down there for 6 hours. They are learning. Do you understand? It should be a significant win for me. But guess what? When the event ended on Saturday and on Sunday, I woke up and I said, try.
Why?
What does that mean? Because it has gone. I'm moving on to the next one now. We're looking at 2,000. After 2,000 now, like this year's one, we're looking at 2,000 individuals. Next year now, we're going 3,000, just like that. And so that's what for me success is all about. So I'm meeting goals. I'm increasing the barrier. I jump over that one just like that, and I keep meeting goals. So it's difficult for me to come and start, I don't know, to begin to gather all the wins of my life and begin to tabulate them.
Okay.
It's been difficult. Maybe I would do it, but for me, it has been difficult, to tabulate all those things and say this is the biggest one, this is the one. Because every day I'm constantly improving myself to get better, right? Like today now, I have 11 books in print. Will I say it's the biggest? I don't know if I can say it's one of my biggest wins. Because currently I'm writing 4 books. Because by the time I become 44, I should have 15 books in print. So it's every day is for me getting better and improving on what I've done before, and that's what it is.
And that's what success is
I'll
for
give
you.
you a particular example. Maybe one of my wins this year. Well, let me see that one. So in 2022, I came up with an idea that hasn't been done. I don't know if it has been done by any author in Nigeria. So I said, okay, my ebook, that I'm going to have people pay for advertorial slots inside the book.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard that before.
I have.
Like you're reading a book, like you're reading an ebook, you finish one chapter.
Like a magazine.
Yeah, but magazines
that
have
adverts.
magazines have short life. What I mean by that is that a magazine has, let's say, it's for a month. When that edition goes for that month, people don't really go back again to go and start reading the book. But for an ebook that is constantly being advertised and promoted, right? It's evergreen. So I said, okay, imagine a book where you finish reading one chapter and then you see somebody advertising his brand, and then before you read that one and then you go to the next chapter, just like that. So I came up with that idea. I was like, okay, let me test it, and I put it out there in 2022, expecting that people would just take it up and see who would try it. No, nobody tried. So this year I said, okay, nobody tried, let me do it. Guess what? I said 10 slots for 200,000 naira. Before I knew it, 10 slots were gone. I said, okay, let me expand again to 5 more slots. Before I knew it, all the 5 slots were taken. So
interesting.
15 slots at 200,000. That's 3 million naira to write a book for free.
Do you think that was a result of, you haven't built capacity?
Yes, I can say, because I've built my brand, I've built my capacity, but also it's testing something that is novel, something that has not been done, or I don't know if somebody has done it, because I've asked questions, I've written out on my timeline. Nobody has come to tell me that somebody tried it or sent me a sample of what somebody has done. You get what I mean? So maybe I can count it as one of my gains. And now, because it's happened in an ebook, I feel that it can happen in a physical book. So for my book that I'm going to write called Shameless Marketing, I'm going to try it again. Maybe that time I will because it's going to be a physical book, I can increase the maybe 500,000 or 1 million naira to have a space, because it's a book that is constantly.
Is that what's next? Is that what's next for Emeka Nobis?
Next for me?
Yes.
No,
what's next for you?
I have quite other next things to do.
Would you like to share?
Yes. So I'm turning 43, and then 44, and I have that for the year. I have for next year. I'm already planning. This year, I think I'm already done with the books that I'm writing. Next year, I'm already started for the books that I'm writing for next year, right? And the things that I want to do. This year, I want people who have connected to the Emeka Nobis brand. This is the project I'm on. 100 videos, individuals who have connected to my brand, to come sit before the camera and share how Emeka Nobis has been a blessing to them. Right? What they don't like, what they like about me, and all that. So 100 videos like that, And then the idea in my head is, by the time I turn 45, I may have done up to 500 of those videos, right? And so on the day that I turn 45, all the videos that very day, maybe everybody will be in a group, and then we say, okay, 12 noon, everybody will go and release the video. So imagine coming online and you're seeing people just sharing. So that's a crazy idea in my head, but I think
really crazy.
It can work.
Okay.
So those are. I don't really live my life in 5-year goals or 10-year goals. People come and say, "What are you planning for the next 5 years?" No, I don't. I just live. I think I live in 1 year goals.
Okay.
That I can do, and I don't want to cram my life with a lot of goals. If I meet one significant one, I'm happy that I've taken that step. I raise the bar and I keep moving. That's how I live my life. I don't do 5-year goals, 10-year goals.
Okay.
I've never done it before, and I don't know if I will change, but for me.
And it's been working for you?
Yeah, it's been working out.
Apparently.
It's been working for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a very swell time with you, Emeka Nobis. I wish I had more time, Apparently there's a lot more to get from you. But while we wrap up this, who would you like to advise?
Well, I think my advice will go a whole lot more to those who are still at the phase where their minds are forming, because it's all boils down to culture. Culture, set of habits, behaviors, ideologies, and the things that make you to become an empowered human being. And when I say empowered, it's not about the empowerment we see in our past. Is those who want to be high every time we are thinking, and it's all over. Even in our religious organizations, people want to be high. Somebody's looking for who is going to bow down to him. That's not the empowerment I mean. Empowerment I mean is that you invest of yourself to be a blessing to as many people as ever, right? Shared prosperity, people will becoming rich. I mean, that's what I call empowerment. So those ones who are at the point where their minds are still being formed, and that is why I'm writing a book called Leadership is Not for Stupid People, because it's going to be for people who are young, those who are still maybe secondary school, university. I'm going to write the book in a very simple format so that they will, be embedded with that culture of thinking right. So that's the thing. These are the individuals that I'm really looking out for, really, and that's why even the conversations we did done at 44, we are looking at, we call it young and earning. So we want to get young people who are earning, who are doing remarkable work, have them share their stories, and get other people inspired, other young people inspired to do right, not yahoo, but to understand that even in the face of pain, what is happening in Nigeria, there are still individuals, young people who are doing legitimate jobs, legitimate businesses to be able to get ahead. So those are individuals I think my heart yearns for, not for those who are already formed. I don't want to change. Yeah, I know it's tough. They are the ones who come in the comment section and begin.
Oh Lord, I know, right?
Illusion
of knowledge can be a problem.
Right. So that's it.
Okay. Oh wow. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. I know there's a lot to pick from this, and I hope that whoever gets to see this video gets something from it, as you are inspired to bless, to reach out. Please allow Emeka Nobis to bless you. Alright? So let's get your final words.
The final words, thank you for the conversation. All I'm saying is that I just want people to expand their horizon of thinking. Alright? When you encounter a word or a sentence that you feel is trying to knock off your the ideology you've held so sacrosanct, see if you can throw up those things. Throw up, okay, this way. Your first point of action shouldn't be to cuss out, which is what we see all the time on social media. Your inability to hold your thoughts. I remember my friend Lumati and the kind of things he writes on Facebook.
Oh, he cusses. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Let's not go there.
The way he writes some of the things he writes on Facebook. I know the day he came up with writing about songs and how people will spiritualize things,
and everywhere went agog.
People started cussing out immediately. But as he went on the series, gradually, you could feel that the individuals began to realize that they were foolish by themselves. You see the thing. So it shouldn't be your first port of call or first point of action that you see something that is new to you or is alien to you, and the first thing you just attack and you shut it down and you shut. That's why we're not thinking. That's why we're not becoming progressive and better as humans. And that's one of the things I'm training my kids to do. I mean, I allow them to think and expand their thinking. I can't remember what we are doing. I think one morning we were discussing. I can't remember exactly what my kids were even saying. And we just allowed them to have definitions about life, and they were just coming up with all sorts of definitions. And this one was learning. My son was learning. And they all finished that day with all their different perspectives about how that particular concept ought to be. That's how to become rounded as a human being. And we are human beings, and that's why we're not animals. Human beings. Okay. So that's the thing I want to pass across as the final sentence for our conversation.
All right. Thank you so much for these words. Thank you. I really appreciate this time. So you heard it. Think before you speak. Be open-minded. Be ready to receive whatever is new to you, and analyze critically, objectively before you unleash mayhem. All right. So thank you. That will be it. My name is Gloria Kati. Okay, make sure that you share this video if it ministered to you, if it blessed you in any way. What do you think about it? Also drop a comment, all right? And Emeka Nobis will be here to reach out to you more in any way that he can, and of course that meets your needs. All right, so share this video and of course follow this handle for more content like this. Thank you very much.